ค่ะนี่คือเป๊ปแข่งกัน
Both of these teams have so many reps. They pick up the pace towards A.
I like the intention, actually, I really do. But the problem is the stall out's fantastic from PRX. Out's fantastic from PRX. Denying that space being taken freely. They're here quickly. Pop of the ult from something. Information galore in 25 seconds. We are now at pressure stations. Forsaken down on 30. Has to respect the paint shell. A spray through the smoke here doesn't land, but something's does. They're dwindling in numbers. CBD and Spring, the last two standing, and they are cornered here. This adjustment from PRX. Divine! Stunning from them. They wrote it so well.
Now that is a beautiful recovery, considering what happened elsewhere. It was paranoia, showstopper, so much thrown towards YU. And in that situation, Wolves just kind of need to go, 1 for 2 in terms of approaching A site. They do that. PRX still come back.
This is really nice from PRX. Again, even seeing that discipline start to an extent, right? That dose of discipline at the beginning, the second contact's made.
A sprinkle of discipline.
As much as we're going to get. As much as we're going to get. But honestly, I like that though. And again, those quick rotations, starting to read what Wolves are doing, identifying YU where he was. And yeah, the trap was there, but even those rotations coming in so quick. Back into the mix of things, a buy for both sides, still lacking for some areas on PRX's side. You're going to see that Guardian still in the hands of Divide. And a stack up from Wolves. And on the other side, Forsaken, not too far, a clear towards Mound, and a wanted punish. You can see they're starting to read this, maybe Mound pressure, trying to maybe toy with those expectations off of that Fade utility.
They kind of know Forsaken's the key stakeholder in terms of those set pieces outside C. Try to shut him down here. Again, beautiful read or assessment, I guess, of the previous situation.
And some people may look at these two teams and see them as just those mechanical monsters, but this is a really cerebral game so far.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Seeing these rotations on rotations, these adjustments. Spring almost. And now a moment of quiet here.
That could slow things down potentially.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to kind of pre-take, I guess. And the plant's going to come in. Now this should encourage movement here. Just going to kind of eat the Prowler, still close range, still able to use the shorty just fine. Weapon's not right and the knife's not ready. So a 3v3 in the post. Look at the position from YU. That is, excuse me, coming in from CFAT BB. He's still on the way, but they've still got to slow things down. YU does well. Lysor still has to hold ground here, and now the silence becomes deafening. The position becomes questioned. They don't know where he is, but they're going to hazard a guess. CFAT BB does well on one. Falls to fire off the defuse. Just needs to keep his cool here. This would be everything for him, trying to play to the time, play to the tempo, play to the clock. And play him like a phantom. Beautiful for the Red Bull clutch.
This guy, time and time again, looks so composed in the clutch. And closes out a 7-5 half beer, Lauren. Fantastic stuff from Wolves.
This has been an exceptional game so far. Just brilliant from both sides. And again, on surface, you may have thought, it's not going to be this, really cerebral matchup. But this has been a wondrous affair.
It really has. That's any sort of taster here towards the second half.
To Canada, you've been here before. What do you think about the crowd so far?
เสียงมันเข้าแน่ๆแต่เราต้องเช็คก่อนมันเสียงเตรียมจะไปนะได้ไหมโอเคเอาละค่ะเสียงจะดังวันนี้นะ
Thanks all for joining me, and let's see if PRX can maybe save him in the second.
The one thing I will absolutely agree with is this crowd has been amazing. For both teams as well.
But the second thing I will say is actually referencing back something we were talking about in the cast the other day. We do see the econ report here from Coinbase. Again, very evenly contested first half here. Why are you the ones to really pull ahead here? For Wolves, but also Divide on the other side of things. But just to come back to that same point, again, the resilience. Juicy the other day, an absolute stinker of a first half.
Yeah, really struggled.
But again, the vibes never changed on stage. You could see maybe hints of frustration. Players like UFAB BB really pay dividends in terms of a team's mental.
I mean, we talk about the sixth man, right? Being that crowd behind you to get you back going.
You almost need a conductor actually from the stage to be able to actually channel that back into getting a team back online, and Wolves certainly have tapped into that here in Toronto.
All right, PRX now on the attack, 5-7. Headliner, a big player in
idea.
Don't forget what this man can do. 3 pivotal kills, and a stark reminder of who PRX can be.
We dictate the pace now. You can't sit back in the default. We'll bring the fight to you. Now, why you in spring? Well, just why you left now in a 1v5. An ace needed. The Jing gonna shut down any hope of recovery. The second half with a 4-round victory.
And you're right, I think what you said.
ก็แต่สตาร์ทมันก็เหมือนสตาร์ทบ่อยเลย
Making their fights their own.
โอเคแต่ไม่ได้ดู
To
ไม่
handle
ได้
on
เจ็บ
all occasions.
ชนะ2 สิ่งเก่งนะครับ
PRX are going to dial into that. And actually, really, I guess we've asked this before of Wolves to kind of stabilize a little bit in the second half and really get to grips with what their opponent's going to try and achieve here. As again, no secrets on the way in from PRX. Stack misplaced here, so your second successful.
เอาดีเทอย่างเดียวเลยนะ
Hopefully.
Yep. And I again look towards Divide here. 2
สงสัย
away
น่าจะเป็นเวลาแข่งว่าต้องเดินสแต็กกัน4-5 คนเลยนะถือว่า
Yeah, his third 3K or
ก็แส
something.
ดงว่ามันจะได้ช่วยกันดูใช่ไหม
That's brilliant.
แล้วรู้สึกว่ามันเสี่ยงเหมือนกันนะถ้าแบบฝั่งตรงข้ามใช้เป็นสเปียร์
Yeah,
โป๊ะ
coming
โป๊ะ
to buy round to have that
Move.
ultimate available is
อุ้ย
brutal.
สวย
Wow.
Nice.
ทำไมแล้วทำไมแล้วไม่
Easy, Tiger. We shouldn't get
Bring
more
it.
dangerous than this. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Jing and Forsaken keep this in control. Stop it. What is going on? Forsaken left in a 1v2. Come on, Forsaken. Surely you keep this
เจ
safe.
นเดิน
Away, trying to play the time now. This should never have been this close. See that baby.
มันได้อย่างนี้เลยค่ะ
Closer.
เก่งครับน้อง
Red Bull clutch here. Just one rifle
สวยน้อง
retained. Now you're almost relying on Divide's ult to be the
คือเราตัดสูงไปเท่
turning
เลยนะ
point here. PRX are able to get the purchase together. Jing, yeah, judge, but I saw finding so much value here. Oh, Jing.
God.
Pressure check required.
Yeah.
โคตรเลย
Get the heart rate monitors out next time. Now, again, keep in mind they do have Device ult here. So this is something you've got to see them build around, be aware of. Quick little paint shots, try and maybe delay.
I mean, Wolves adjusting perfectly for this. There's actually nobody here. Yes. Entry found, but it's a full 5v5 in the post.
Sketchy timing on this. And it looks like something wants to try and hold this back. They're willing to try and brawl on the side. They're not sitting deep at all here. Something wants to draw blood. PRX still standing by. Oh, it's messy! And now there's an opportunity. PRX though!
Away.
And you know he'll
Jing's
get
away.
here.
Jing's away.
Now down in the 1v2. Incredibly difficult for CFAT BB again.
Away.
Jing's got that one all day long.
Jing wow.
The tempo shift here on the
You
half
did Jay.
certainly suiting PRX. Now on to the good 8-7, the scoreline. Get this judge up close and personal. Jing 4 on the ready for him. Good progress for the showstopper as well. Gonna potentially, well, should by all rights have that for the next buy round here. Wolves down on a bit of a Shiko. No ultimates to their name. It's CFAT BB the closest, and well, actually, Lysor one away from the TP, but
We'll see.
too
Yeah.
impactful.
Oh, okay. Okay. And that's a recoverable weapon. No one else is here. So the game should be given away to an extent. Obviously now, the hit being noted by YU. Trying to buy time, but it's hard to hold this back, right? It's a flood of players, full kit.
Nobody's watching, no one. We didn't see it. We didn't see it.
All good. PRX though, got to steady the ship here. Can still get a little bit scary. And now Juicy does have that Vandal, right? Can they play him in? The post plant is purely on the site itself, Mike. There isn't anyone sitting deep.
Well, I mean, he's got 4 sheriffs basically to rally behind here and try and make this rifle work. Found the first. Batman's fallen.
Okay, Divine now. Gonna have to do work here. See if that BB does well. Divine. Oh!
Ui, ui,
I told you before this man
พูดนี่ลั่นจังบัง
big games, and he just
Nó
had
lăn
a
thật.
hell of a lot of impact.
ทำไมโคตรคูลแหม
Blinking, you miss it. One of the quickest aces I think we've
So
probably ever
man.
seen.
Look at this. They needed him. They needed this. It was all going wrong. Oh,
เว้ย
It's just
magic.
beautiful to watch back.
อุ้ย
He's going through it.
เรา
They're getting close. to
Yeah,
these, right?
yeah.
They're getting close on these
Like-
rounds, getting a little bit scary. But the scoreline looking good for PRX. 9-7, a buy back in hand for Wolves though. They have to stop the rot fast.
This could be the round to find that response. But I can see you Fat BB's ultimate. This time around, obviously retrieve the orb outside C. There's a bit of a gap here with Forsaken, the solo anchor towards A. Obviously, possibility here. Batman and second player actually to come across fairly quickly, but
Well, here comes the test.
ก็ถูกใส่
Don't know if that's going to reach. It does. So Lysor will be noted. Draws the paranoia. Okay, counter on counter. They can't hear a thing here. Divide though, unaffected, unfazed. 35 seconds getting close now. The paranoia burnt early, and Lysor needs to be ready. This is a lot of pressure coming his way. You're going to hear the ults coming out to secure the plant, but Lysor still does the damage. Can't do the double move with Forsaken. And that's a beautiful catch from CFAT BB, punishing Jing on the push-up. And now the plant gets hindered. Problems now mounting. Spring at the door, and now it's just on Defy. Position noted earlier, they should be aware.
ใกล้
This
อ่ะ
man's dangerous, but not today. Spring's got his number, and Wolves back within touching distance.
มันซื้อ
so
มาเป็น
we
สิ่ง
needed
ที่
them to find a response here. They finally stopped that string of rounds. Getting costly here on both sides. And Showstopper shut down here from Jing, desperate to try and convert.
It's broken the money from PRX.
Yeah, it
You can
has,
see
yeah,
how
I mean,
close
it's-
these rounds have been.
It's not necessarily been a walk in the park for that string of rounds, but Jing Looking to put this rifle to work. Start of round 18.
He's had a feel-good round not too long ago. Ooh,
Oh, look at that
dear,
anti-TP sensor!
Oh, it's so sick! You think Wolves are just another team? They're certainly not. Very ready for what PRX wanted to bring. Forsaken picking up what feels like the cursed rifle at this point. Just dropping hand to hand. Divided well last time in a scenario not too dissimilar to this, but not be able to get it this time. Yeah.
เขาก็เล่นดีเหมือนกันนะ
Fully ready.
Something just
สอ
walking
งส
into
ม
a
องเนี่ย
blender.
คุณจัด
Did both nanos actually into that
Kinda
corner?
looked
The
like
alarm bot was there as well.
Yeah.
Obviously the vulnerable taking effect.
Second time.
Yeah,
out
it was.
there.
Yeah, the second is here.
No escape, really. God.
And actually, yeah, I didn't even. Yeah, Jinx forced into the line of sight as well. So
One enemy
คือเมื่อวาน
set up here
ที่เดิมตลอดก็ต้องเสีย
for
ก็
Wolves.
เลย
Let's get them a second round.
สับทางได้
Timeout as well from PRX.
เขาก็มีทีมจัดอะไอ้พวกนี้
So we'll be required to stand on their own 2 feet now for the remainder. 9-9 the scoreline.
I just keep thinking, oh, okay, PRX back to that 4 in the row. You start to have Jing popping off. You've had Divide doing, acing out.
เออ
Good.
เพราะไม่มาขา
But then these last
ไม่โดน
two,
โกง
Wolves never feel like they look like they're under pressure. It's always possible with them. That nice little setup. The last 2 rounds, very considered.
Find themselves in a really good position actually here in terms of defensive ultimates. They got 1 away from the lockdown. Springs 1 off the pit.
Oh, true, yeah.
2 more for
ไหว
Juicy
ไหวไหวไหว
to
เลย
find the showstopper.
แม่
I mean, yes, options on the side of PRX, but
เนาะ
in terms of this defensive ult cycle, gotta feel really, really good about themselves. Again, even with that string of rounds now, look
Yeah.
at what's in the bank for PRX. What's behind this purchase? I even hear a broken purchase if you look at some of the shields.
Mm, เขาอยู่ครบ
So this
เชีย
was
ร์
the one from the timeout, right? This
เอา
one with the man in
โดนไหม
mind,
โดน
PRX.
ส่วน
The last check-in with the coaching staff, and let's
กัด
forget
ดัน
OT.
เลยอะ
Wolves getting a little active
But
here as well,
Hey,
actually.
off the back of a timeout, why not? A traditional reaction. Is PRX aware? Something. There's 3 players in that spot. You may think there's 1. But will he expect all 3? Quick enough to find 1. Great paranoia from Forsaken as well. Do they try and go on the hunt from this? Oh, the TP's lovely. Big investment on that, but I like the idea behind it, taking a lot of space. But look at towards
เช็
the
คเช็ค
side.
เช็คหน่อยเช็คหน่อย
Yeah, Juicy still standing here, pops the ult, plays it well. Oh, catch it! You can't get away from him. Brought back to life before from CUBB, and now he's standing on his own 2 feet. Divide left. All on his own. Surrounded, and he doesn't even know it. You thought that TP might have cut right through him, it didn't. The Wolves still standing together, fighting together. Divide does what he can, putting up a stand. The Wolves taking the lead.
Executed to perfection here. You get a crucial trade from Juicy, but then to find the second, the showstopper comes through, that splash damage. I can't believe that even catches on Jing. Outrageous scenes here.
Are you starting to believe
อยู่
now?
ไม่พักเลย
I thought it was going to go kind of par for course,
I
like we didn't
mean.
expect. But the Wolves once again proving they are lethal about their business. So we go again. Money not looking good for PRX. It's Stingers, it's a Sheriff, it's a Bulldog. Brought together from the bargain bin basically here. Can they make something with it? Ooh, a little bit of chip on the way. Position now noted. Super BB on the site here. Still got C's and his Prowlers, but they are bombed to this lights all caught sleeping. Not expecting the pace. Juicy, a wild play through the smoke. Gonna find 2, but Spring's now here. It gets a bit messy, but it's working out at least for now in Wolves' side.
Not great here for Pac-Man though.
Oh, do you really go for that? No.
He certainly doesn't feel safe to just stick the plant out, so they're waiting for something. Does have the ultimate here, but again, the 2v3 doesn't feel good.
And that chip on Pac-Man 2, they're starting to feel it. Something's going to have to go nuclear. Try and save the day, but none of these fights, these engagements are fair for him. YU does well, even Pac-Man with 21 HP. And not a prayer! taking
곱제
this away
맞잖아.
from PRX.
They hit 11 here. This is
God.
getting into some really awkward territory now. You can see there's effectively a force up here. Ultimates, plenty. Talking about some of those defensive ultimates here for Wolves.
รู้ไม่อยู่จริงๆอะคนเนี้ย
See how it lies here for PRX. This is going to take up the lion's share. Obviously, the round loss bonus is going to be a consideration, but could potentially face Wolves here on map point on a broken buy.
On PRX's map choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all starts to compound here, but they're not there yet. 4 in a row, unanswered. Alt starting to build, money looking solid. We're going to need a PRX round. Going to need someone to step up, and it looks like something wants to try and
เข้า
build
เอีย
its
ก็
way
คุ้ม
through.
เลย
Good info.
มัน
Two spotted,
อยู่ที่
and the rest
เยอะ
are
อะ
filling behind that.
รู้สึกว่ายังไม่คุ้มเลย
They were trying to set up for potentially a paranoia there.
Oh, the paranoia was fine on one, but it's still standing, still breathing. Forsaken
Yeah,
gonna find the
well.
trade out towards Lightor. Nice from PRX.
Yeah,
Unwilling
that's
to
what you-
relent on the site now. Spring and what? Oh my God! Shot. Couldn't get the second.
Sorry.
Wants this. YU a 1v3. This would be something special. But a lifeline for PRX. Jump spot towards street, that's from Divide. Time's been born, couldn't get the punish fast enough. Now they know the position. The cross should be the death of YU. I say should. Yeah, they're not giving him an inch here. Very well handled by PRX in the end. They had to keep their
สวย
cool there.
Almost a lifeline here in terms of the bigger picture. Brings it within one. Not allowing Wolves to really sit back on their laurels and rely on these ultimates. Getting so sloppy.
แต่เข้าเอียจะเป็นไปได้
Skill,
สุ
the
ด
paranoia almost setting things in
บี
motion.
โดนลุมแน่
Can just
ก็เกิดไม่ใช่ของดี
absolutely
บน
bulldoze
ซ้า
its way
ย
on
ขวา
the
เลย
Those were your
ข้อซีได้มีไว้กับเคเจที่มันจะใส่แบบเกาะ
in the map. Round 22.
แน่นอน
Comfortable financially. So he's still got those ultimates actually building back towards Juicy and Siu Fat BBs. Almost a stacked deck here in terms of this cycle. Not really going to be able to rely on it too much, but said PRX, they're a team that reads into that sort of thing so well.
Well, I'm probably going to see a paint shell. I imagine maybe a C's perhaps, who knows, but you're seeing the way that PRX want to pass.
Well, first time actually the stars aligned for a fight towards Rubble here.
God, this could be right off the rip. Here we go. Already paint shell comes in, C's not going to find it, but the reveal is fantastic. Juicy going to go down, Forsaken doubling in. This is lovely from them. See if baby does answer back in kind, but PRX aren't stopping. They
He's
want
gotta
the
go
site. And yeah, beautifully done by something. Yeah, that's stunning. Almost
Oh,
single
what the hell, wait.
approach, just banking on themselves.
I mean, what Plant coming through with 120 left on the clock, it's a haymaker thrown from PRX and it lands once more. Similar to those early rounds we did see in the second half.
This shouldn't be possible.
Whoa. Whoa.
It shouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
And it
Oh,
isn't.
sorry.
In the end, to add the full stop to that sentence. But it is 11-11, Mike. PRX have found what they needed. But it's getting close here. The money's still in place for Wolves. And you're looking at those ults, they become
Let's see
such
what-
a heavy
Go
factor.
kill, we
Feel
play
with
game.
everything.
เราจะ
Unfortunately,
ให้
still
จบ
committed
เพื่อเช็คบิน
position.
นะครับ
Siu Fat BB
Yeah,
unfortunately
but
was just caught off guard by the flash. Tried to turn it, but
กูสองไม่
even
ใส่
so, you
นะ
connect
ก็
that
จะ
first
ดู
shot, you've
สุ
got
ดกว่า
three more members of PRX staring you down. PRX maybe feel as if they found the rest
เอา
of
ใคร
the year.
ไปดู
Slower approach this time around. No resistance shown early on, at least, from Wolves. Exploration elsewhere. This is both YU and Spring, though. Spring's going to continue pushing forwards. Might even catch Divine Spawn.
Yeah, trying to almost sell this fake unawares. They haven't seen this sort of look before, but if anything, it encourages his approach towards A now.
Jing does have the showstopper as well, though.
Yeah, this is going to get tense. Both players stuck on the back of the side now. Ready for the swing, ready for the shot. Lights or hands Forsaken, waiting for the pop. On the other 3v3 now. Tension rising, holding the push through the door on the other side now. Rewarded. Nice from him. Man advantage and Plant next on the cards.
See the lockdown invested here. It's a 2v3. The response comes through from Patmen, but PRX going to fight this.
Yeah, beautiful from him. They're going to react to it now. Something, it wasn't clean enough.
Yeah.
Jing, what do you do?
He's caught.
What do you do?
They can just stick it.
Yeah. I can't believe it. YU just has to hold guard.
Yeah.
For Jing, he just has to stand back and watch as the 12 gets taken away. In the final hour of regulation, Wolves take the lead.
See here, the purchase going to be rough for Wolves, but they find that response, finally finding the opportunity to invest the lockdown. I mean, it's another situation where you just see Forsaken again, just digging so deep. Jing hitting the drive-by as well. Zach killed Rob with the follow-up here onto something. This is one ultimately that can bail Jing out in that situation. They're coming into this though. Wolves still have a pit, still have a showstopper. Big tools to work with here in round 24.
แล้วกินคือยากเด็สั่งทำไม่ยากมากเลยอะ
PRX poised now. Cover going out. Once again, it's like actually a big info there.
โอ้โหตัวสีว่าของนี่
Necessarily looking committed.
ตัว
It being Jing, obviously.
เข้ามาเปิด
Bit
ปุ๊
of
บ
spin
ปุ๊บ
on some
ปุ๊
of
บ
the set pieces, but
แล้วก็
it's going to contact up.
โดนอ่ะ
It all feels like the calm before the storm.
Wolves almost scratching their heads here. They invest the pit over, expecting maybe that with that information, PRX are rotating towards C.
There's the info, but are you ready for the hit? How do you play it for Lysor? Oh my god, he's going for the heroics. Oh, he went for the heroics and it works! Not going to get a second. PRX now finds stability on the site. Into the post plant. Something playing a little further ahead. He wants a one and done and back away. No one's given him that yet though. And the time ticking for PRX here. This is good for them. Still ults in play though. Juicy has his. You've heard that invested. Flies over, something does well. Gets one back. The showstopper doesn't work. Wait! Something got lost! And it's
Something-
for Spring! Into a 2v2. It ain't over yet. You're looking at the post plant for Divine and Jing here. Can they hold on to this? Paint shell posted by some seconds. They needed to stay alive.
สวย
Digging deep, and they're not dead yet. They're not
สว
dead yet.
ย
You killed them when you had a chance. PRX bringing
Get
it
back.
back to 12 apiece.
Of course we see overtime here on the first map of this series. Here, throughout the second half, PRX
น่าเขาจะขอโอทีได้ยินเสียงเพลงไม่ใช่
almost their trademark.
อ๋อมันไม่เห็นจริงตอนนั้นอะทามิ่งอะ
I gotta say it, seemingly up to the challenge.
เออ
Everything gets
Thank you,
reset
babe.
now for round 25.
เอาอันนั้นเป็นเป็นพิพลป่ะโอทีเว้ย
Reset as well. I mean, Wolves, perfect position to close out now, but back onto the attacking side.
The timing's going to be critical on this. They've read it. They've read it really well here.
Same piece we've seen previously.
And it worked out well for a 2v2 trade in the end. But this time, Jing, something in unison.
แล้วก็ได้
They
สอง
don't even have a chance into this. Denied from the very word
ไม่
go.
ลืมสฝักแหละ
Back in the
พี่ชีวิต
You can't do that. PRX locked in on this. 4v2. They
ดี
should
มาก
find stability, Mike. The Wolves look
There.
unwilling to back away. They don't want to go
They're
elsewhere.
expecting PRX to rotate away from this and give up the space, but PRX reading this perfectly. Still got both extremities controlled as well, so
It's so difficult. They need a freebie. They need something, and it ain't happening. Paper X looking
ส
strong
วย
here. Right read, right
เก่ง
place,
มาก
right shots.
PRX PRX
first
ว่ะ
like this set piece once more on the back of the season. This time around, no casualties, no trade found.
Enemy with spike down.
Able to stick the landing. Wolves actually call a timeout here ahead of the second round in overtime.
So impressed by Paper X's mental here, though, because they've been put through the ringer on this. Again, it's pressure on them more than anything, right? If you're Wolves, you've already done more than expected.
อันนี้อะไรอ่ะ อันนี้อะไร
But yeah, again, usually with Wolves, you'd be talking about, you know, this unknown.
Không biết điều anh gì có được điềuเพราะว่างานด้วยไม่มีบางคนนี่เป็นลองคนไม่ได้เห็นคอมเมนต์เขามาเลยมันหายอ่อย
Have that one destination in mind, that final stop. The Wolves standing in their way of that grand final. And it's down to the wire between these two. So we go again. Similar scenes, it looks like, right? It almost looks like rinse and repeat, but Jing this time is fast. Oh, and he does it! Rice has gone down. It looked a little laboured, but YU swings in. Oh, he gets a second! Hold on, Paper X, held back here now.
Just behind the wall as well. Not necessarily a comfortable push out here
เสียดมากอะ
That's
for
both
Wolves to
players.
control. Ryan Forsaken. I have the spike. Will be given an opportunity to reset a little bit here, but find themselves in a 2v3.
Oh, I thought they were leaving Devi there. God.
Shadows traveling. So no paranoia. Going to be a little gap on a follow-up smoke here. Spark comes through. Juicy still got satchels. Spring still with a snake bite, so a couple of tools here at Wolves' disposal.
Oh, it's so tense now. You're going to need someone to over-deliver, and they
สวย
Paper X taking deep!
สวย
Can't stand! Paper
เก่ง
X! It took so long to get there! But that legacy team holding strong on
ได้อะน้อง
Hey, standing pistol round, huh?
แต่ตอนนี้สุดแล้วนะโอ้ยแต่ละคุย
He's legit in PC full, they should take him.
ส่งร่วมกันได้แต่ดูผิดกันต้องเขียนถูกไหมนี่ฉันพี่ทำทำไมมันต้องเอาจริงว่าลืมเลือกอะทั้งสองรอบเลยกดได้แหละเคยทานอยู่แค่รอบเดียวเองเอ้ยมันเป็นข้อนี่ อันนี้เป็นของที่ไหนน่ะมาจะเป็นโตลอนโตมันโตมันอยู่แคนาดาใช่ไหมเอ้ยไม่ใช่โตลอนโตนี้ดิอ่ะโตลอนโตไหนไปเนี่ยอีเวนต์นี่อันนี้สิถึงแพ้ก็ตกรอบเลยโอ้ไม่ใช่ถ้าแพ้มันไปแข่งกับไอ้สายล่างใช่ปะนักเป๊ก็จะเข้ารอบสายล่างก็ G2 กับเฟเนติกถ้าสองคนนี้เข้าปุ๊บก็จะไปแข่งกันอันนี้อีกรอบหนึ่งก็อันนี้แต่ย่าน่ะน้องๆพี่จะเอาแชมป์ชั่วโมงกี่เดือนแล้วเนี่ยเดี๋ยวไม่ขอบคุณเลยขอบคุณสองอันนี้ค่ะนี่เห็นว่ามันจะมีสกินใหม่เข้าในแอดนั้นนะแต่ว่ามันจะเป็นยังไงเป็นไงเป็นนี่แหละทรงมันเหมือนพี่หลุดเหมือนกันนะเป็นแนวเดินแต่มีดอะนี่มันเหมือนเป็นแบบถือแล้วมันแทงแปลกๆกันเป็นอะไรเนี้ยแต่เล่นอะได้บอลกว่า
Everybody credits Wars as a team that has a lot of structure. How did you and your boys manage to find those gaps on Lotus?
I think it was very close affair. I honestly didn't think they gave many gaps. We knew what they were doing, but I think we could have done it better. We did a lot of research. I mean, they have a lot of research on Lotus, so it helped a lot.
Nice counter-strike there, Coach. Good luck on map 2.
Oh boy, choo-choo, because the train ain't stopping. as PRX managed to pick up the win, 14-12 going into the OT there, and one has to wonder, does Wolves have what it takes to be able to force that map 3? Now, for that though, let's actually take a look at our Verizon high-speed moment. We got to give this one to YU because there were some great plays in this one, but Mimi, this one in particular shined through.
Yeah, and this is more about the round as a whole, because I think this starts so well for PRX. Something they did great on their defense was these active trap plays. In this one, they get 2 picks, but then in classic PRX fashion, I think end up overstaying their welcome just a little bit. They lose 2 players there, and then Wolves, after getting this nice double from YU, flicking up to the player on the off angle, Wolves goes on to win this round. And it was rounds like this, the ones that started strong for PRX, that Wolves bounced back, that made it look like Wolves was gonna take this game away in that first half pair.
I love the balance also of having Spring being more the one that is going to push from the defense and YU being the one that was in the lurks in this first half of Lotus. But in the end, somehow, even with them losing these advantages and whatnot, PRX manages to get back on the board and secure the map.
It's funny because they got theirs back. They gave away some advantages in the first half, but they were the ones winning a lot of clutches. They were the ones bringing it back in the second to push us all the way to OT. That's what you know this PRX team for.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there are so many good things to talk about with this PRX team. One individual in particular, gotta give it to the man himself, Divide. We saw some wild plays. This one in particular was nuts, because my guy just walked out there, not a care in the world, Cuckoo, was like, you know what, hold this L with the sheriff. Pop, got 2 out of the break.
So many 3Ks, so many very high impact kills that he had. He even got an ace, even though Alex's reaction was not showing that he got an ace, but it was this is one of the disadvantages that they want, and one of the reasons PRX was able to secure this map in so many occasions was thanks to Alex's performance.
After PRX's failures earlier in this year, missing out on Bangkok, having the rough start to stage 1, a lot of fans were calling for Devi's head when they were asking for roster changes. They were saying that he should get dropped, they should find someone new, but I think he's really proved himself in this tournament now, stepping up in some of these later games, showing us the Divide that we've known has been so strong since all the way back in tournaments like Masters Copenhagen, where this team has made finals before.
Yeah, well, of course, a lot of pressure, though, on the other side of the stage for the Wolves as they're facing a potential trip to the lower bracket if they lose this next map. Let's actually go ahead and check in with Coach Fade to hear what he has to think as we get ready for that one.
I'm now joined by Coach Fade from Wolves. Now, this is the first map you've lost this tournament since that Sentinel series. What was the focal point in your team talk before map 2, and is there any concern around stamina if this series goes the distance?
Like nose again, once again, towards the end of first map. And I think stamina shouldn't be an issue because we had a 3 days break previously, so I think we will be fine.
I hope so. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, and there you see the results that you heard as well. Like, they feel good about their stamina for the Wolves, but a 14-12, that has to sting for them as they get ready for match 2.
For sure, especially like you were mentioning, this is a team that has not lost a map since the series they dropped to open Toronto against Sentinels. They have been on a non-stop roll up to this point, but now having to go all the way to 3 if they want to make it into the final here.
Oh, but there's such good maps for the side of Wolves. Now we're about to jump into a set, and we're going to see something for everybody that enjoys the map that we don't usually see. Is one team on one hand that is going to be playing with double controller, and on the other side, a double Sentinel with the deadlock. That is, of course, if we do not see any changes in the agent select. And I think that we were highlighting how well Wolves was doing from their attack with those executes, how good the utility from Lysar is in that agent.
I really like their deadlock, in particular on the attacking side. It's another map where they play super slow, just like you were watching on Lotus. But what they do well here is putting down their Sentinel utility on space they take, then resetting as a team and clearing elsewhere. So checkpoints to save parts of the map they have, and then being able to call back into that really late. I think a lot of teams miss out on those little details with juggling the Sentinel utility. They're great there. It's the same on defense. To me, this feels like a really strong map for Wolves to bounce back.
Yeah, I like the way they chop up the map, right? And really give themselves, like you said, a lot of these openings. The thing is, though, is that we have seen now a couple times PRX kind of feed the beast one too many times here. And I think with Deadlock and the way that this team can play this one, Mimi, it's quite problematic for them if they're not careful and checking their P's and Q's.
For sure, yeah. They have to be on point with taking calculated risks, but it definitely paid off in the first game. Let's take a look at the Command. PRX locking in that jet for something now.
Oh, they're going back to something, you know, more standard.
Something
In this case, they
cheap.
moved away from the Gecko and the Race. I had a feeling that was going to
ก็
happen.
น่าเป็นไร
I
มัน
love
แหล
the
ก
fact
ตัว
that
นะ
they're sticking with this double controller and the Viper.
I really
So
like the Viper
exciting.
comps on this map. I think they've always been strong on defense, especially Devias looked great. But this is much more sensible in terms of the rest of the utility. You're going to put a lot into something. I'm looking at what he can do with the AWP, starting on this
นี่
defense.
ทำดี
What protocols? Wolves have to deal with that.
Another player that we have to look at is Patman. Very quiet performance in the first map, something that is very, very different from what we've been seeing for the rest of the tournament from him.
Yeah, and he's going to have a lot of responsibility here because I think like you're going to want that KO maybe to try and like clash a bit with the deadlock there to prevent that utility from being a bit of a problem. Trying to
Pretty
sniff
cool.
those things out. He's going to have a tall task ahead of him.
No.
Down here. Curious to see how this one plays out because really it feels like both teams are doing their homework coming into this.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, I think that we also need to look at Forsaken. I think that one of the things that PRX have to take great care of, number one is YU, because he's going to be most likely the one that is playing outside of the
อ่า
bracket.
จะ
That
แอดอันนี้ไป
break some of the timings of Wolves that like to wait so much, and that is why I'm looking at these players to focus on.
Oh boy, all right, well, it's time now to get ready for map number 2. Toronto, you want to see a map 3?
ไอ้ตรงไหนมันตรงไหนมันบังอะ
Let's
I
see
don't
the
know.
volunteer casters who very much want a map 3. Here's Pansy and Hypod.
And you really can't blame us after map 1. 14-12, it tipped the way of PRX in OT. But what a wild ride it was to get there. Now on Ascent though, Mike, has this changed any of your expectations?
I mean, you look at this, really, the upset would have come from Lotus for me. If Wolves could close out here, PRX struggled domestically here on Ascent. They obviously have the loss to Genji previously here, sorry. So this is the opportunity now for Wolves to get back in control of this series and force up the split. Should be an absolute barn burner if we get there.
Please, look, I
always delivers, man. A split decider, always.
Oh, God. Okay, well, let's see if they can get there first. For PRX, though, in their minds, there's always been one goal, and it's the grand finals, right? This team put together, went back to the drawing board to rebuild.
There was a great line from Devi, I think, in one of the interviews, talking about every time he sees the Champs LA finisher in-game, it haunts him. A couple of them actually just saw them brought up on map 1.
So again, you've got to have been starving to truly understand hunger, and for PRX, they've never really got that first place. Not when it mattered, so for them, probably the best chance they've had in a minute's time, but still, it will be Wolves on the attack, PRX on the defending side. Something tries to stake his claim towards middle, but will be warded away.
Back on the Sheriff actually here, QC with a flash. Close and personal, Sean actually Forsaken caught on the retreat back.
Yeah, maybe not thinking trying to fill that space yet, but there is still 2 players on this side of the map for PRX, so Patman's still here. Jing's still on this side too. Slow and steady again for Wolves. And it looks like PRX wants this back, but it's just going to end up being a brawl, isn't it? They're ahead of the smoke, but what's the neutral on the corner? There isn't any. Jing and Patman do really well. Eventually they traded effectively though. 30 Wolves keep the hand and they get the side for themselves.
That's the good something down to 34 HP as well. But 2 Sheriffs on the side of PRX here. Good pack a punch here on the retake. For a spam, that's the exchange back and forth. Still got a drone in play here for CUFAT BB.
That is lovely. Gonna have to keep themselves tucked in on this. I think both potentially spotted yet. And that was huge for this. Something can't get the shot. CUFAT BB. Great beginning.
ไม่ชนะพิสโตลแล้ว
You gotta make it work on these attacking sides.
Absolutely do. Talked about that being the main objective on Lotus. He did deliver. He repeats it here once more. Something. If he can get that economy building, as Mimi mentioned, what he can get done with the operator potentially on the defensive side, always a factor on Ascent.
Right here.
Wolves have the tools to really prevent that from happening. Fairly invested here on round 2 as well. Respect being shown to PRX. It's really spring on a Sheriff. Bulldogs across the board. Actually, round 1, CUFAT halfway to the Hunter's Fury as well. So looking for further progress potentially.
Yet again, a reminder of that last map too. These rounds aren't free. When it comes to that second round, even if it's just a sheriff, even if it's just classics, PRX will make something out of it. For now, though, again, it's a considered approach from Wolves. Time around the map, doing their due diligence, and see if BB will be working towards asset that, or I imagine probably getting priority on that here. Caution needs to be shown. That deep haunt over towards B, you should have seen it on the mini-map. Pretty indicative of no one's there, and the connection of the knife. So they should be pretty locked in for what's happening.
I have the spike.
Considering set piece here around the cage from Lysor, but 30 seconds left. You need to find progress somewhere. Tucked up. Very deep position. Laboured, but comes out on top.
Yeah, the paranoia goes into sight, so they should be able to kind of springboard through this. Unless someone walks to smoke, now you can't. Now you're held back. It feels like the anti-PRX, doesn't it? But they still find a way through. Divide up and over the top, but at this point the plant's going to be in. So very difficult to find much surprise, even ahead of maybe that deadlock util. You've got to be cautious again. You can afford losing one player, that being Spring. The rest you don't want to lose, and YU took a risk, but he should be fine here. Yes, stability looking good. See that BB going to be building very close to that. Oh, and they're looking around in here.
We did have the spike, but plant coming through elsewhere. Still, fantastic progress made.
I got scared here, though.
Very, very worried, yeah. And the Bulldogs sometimes can be a little hard to tame. Now, that purchase, especially with Spring upgrading as well,
This is a nice spot.
makes this round 3 doable here for Wolves. Actually, 2 light shields on the side of PRX as well for something, and Forsaken.
They're fighting on every front though, PRX here. Pressure down B main, pressure down cap, pressure on towards A main. It's a really risky ploy. I guess it does burn some of that early util for Wolves though, so there is that, and they're really committing the paranoia on that too.
Cover going out.
Spring on the opposite side.
If Spring even comes out positive in any of this, it would be incredible for him. Because in the meantime, look at where the spike's going, Mike.
I think if he can presence or something actually. Forsaken's walks all the way up as well.
They don't know about Forsaken. Oh, it's a quick beheading. Couldn't get the follow-up on Lysor, and it might be the green light to go towards B. Still a player to hold his divider down low, but still standing and still breathing on 35. He takes YU out of the equation. Now starting to flounder a bit. You can see it with Wolves. This was only their moment, but still struggling to find the landing on this up against the 4 remaining for PRX. That's going to be dealt with. You look at that mid lurk coming into effect too, but that's not going to find the value they want. Yes, something clean within. Lysor still making something of this. Spring still got his paranoia. If he can get through here, oh my god, it's risky off the back, but still. And now the smoke dissipates on. Oh! The smoke going down on CT opens up chance here. Divide tries to find that second before the paranoia lands, but 8 seconds now. Stop it, Wolves! One by one, they are taking down PRX, and Jinx seems unaware of the possibility of Spring being so close. Smokes of his own and a couple of TPs. How do you divide and conquer this? I do not know. But all eyes drawn to that potential in the smoke.
มันจะได้ยินเสียงจากตรงวาร์ปหรือเสียงจากตรงไหนนะเสียงจากตรงวาร์ปหรือเสียงที่วาร์ปมา
Conversion
Keep it
of the
video blue.
bonus here.
Yeah.
Talked about the threat with all those Bulldogs. Looks
I'm
like
staying
PRX
back.
actually come out with a win to catch this kill, but not
And
just
again,
that
I-
information that Wolves are descending upon B site. For some key pieces of utility, key damage towards Divide.
โหเลิกจริงเลิกจริงเลิกมากอ่ะเนี่ย
Massively for Wolves. Get themselves the upper hand here to kick off map 2.
And I'm waiting with bated breath, right? Because that's a huge start for them. Because I feel like once you get PRX on the attack, they come into their own, right? Able to control the tempo, kind of do what they please. But if you can stake a good claim for
อะไร
yourselves,
เต็มไปหมดเลย
the
เนี่ย
opportunity's yours. YU. Quick reminder. The PRX are lethal no matter the weaponry. And that is giving an upgrade
ต้อง
to
รีบ
something.
อ่ะ
Might pass that over.
ไม่ไหว
Pure kill by any means. They're in a 3v3, sure, but look at the HP of Lice. BB does have his ult, but I don't think he can get away from that default plant spot. So Spring waiting. Now sees that. Forsaken, are you aware? Going to be held up back towards Heaven. The two players on site can focus towards Short. Nice from Spring, but he goes down. And now Something and Divine need to come together in this. Somehow figure it out. The deeper off angle from Lysol was lovely. Leaving Divine. What a shot! You got one more of those. You've done it before. You had the ace before. The man is a monster, but he's got to prove it now. And CFAT BB has been ice cold in these. He knows the time. He knows the tempo.
สวยเห็นไหมทันสวยเก่งมาก
The Red Bull clutch here from Divide. Continuing
How's
to
King
deliver
playing?
here today in this series.
God damn, just give the man a sheriff.
Another three-piece for him to add to the list. It's rough as well, the reset again. Safe initially, but that position from CFAT BB to gamble. You can get a cheeky half defuse in, or you can go ahead and stick it. It forces the hand, especially with the recon bolt being used so early on.
Now they start pressuring the point. Look at that deep line already adopted by Something in that operator. Sit towards that. Prowler going to be clearing nearby now.
My ult is ready.
And the ult gathered too, so a nice early step, but a fast mid-take coming out from the Wolves.
Potential to backstab this. I think they're reading into maybe some deep presses. Yeah, we'll catch the backside of Something for sure. And the second player.
Ooh.
That is bravery. Why are you swinging that? Forsaken doubling down. It's a mistake and a punish is why you will lap that up. And now that B-side looks so vulnerable.
ตีลบเนี่ยอยู่เยี่ยมกวนจะได้เลย
We'll guarantee the cross. Juicy's going to find Divide as well. And actually, yeah, that might just be
Spike planted.
the white
โอ้สุด
flag.
เลยป่ะพี่หุ่นคงจัดอะเดี๋ยวออกด้วย
Weapons. No point feeding into this potentially with Juicy.
แต่ไม่ได้
Ultimate Springs actually already on the hunt.
คนนี้เขาหิว
To prevent any semblance of safety here. The remaining PaperX
เขา
players.
ตัวไม่ได้
Going to pick up a deep position in spawn though. There's still maybe a question mark if they're in towards market or in towards spawn. Not they will progress any further, but yeah, usually you talk about discipline and that was a lack of respect to Something.
Yep.
Yeah, did he even get a shot off? Why he was just so quick to that?
Yeah, they seem really aware. Again, this kind of, it's not necessarily that regional matchup at all, but, you know, scrim partners and the information on this ahead of that swing, it was really well dismantled. Again, Forsaken's fault as well, just felt it was too late. Going for that, there's no trade to be there.
I think, yeah, again, once you notice the drone that's come forward, you're not just swinging onto YU there. Again, it's almost an expected response here from PaperX. They deal with the trip, they want to post something on a much deeper sight line. Again, the Prowler's sent through as well, so it's actually Wolves that have the upper hand in terms of the information game. It's a question mark for PaperX actually, who's behind that. And the punish, unfortunately there for them, will leave them at a 4-1 deficit now. Timeout called. There's a purchase, considering the rifles behind this. Maybe want to make a play for an orb here for Something to offset that slightly. Going to be coming into this, but already a fantastic start for Wolves. Looking composed. Well, just hearing from Faye talking about how much actually those days off have paid off, because they've had, like we said, with the comeback in Gen G, the resilience shown, that takes a lot from a team, even if they're all smiles and on their feet on the stage and stuff. Behind closed doors, no doubt that reset absolutely necessary to continue here in Toronto.
Yeah, spot on. So for them, it is now just how long can you keep this up? How clean can you keep this game? PaperX so far with that one round, but of course did have that timeout. I think the ult's coming through as well for Something. YU's kind of had their number on this B side, but it feels like they're getting the right read here. But you can go through the pit for this? No, brave enough to go for the ult wall, but that's about all she wrote. But that mid-cross is dangerous now.
I think I did just hear something. Pop the knives. Not necessarily looking like as bad a situation for PRX.
I must wait a
They
moment.
try and navigate their way round the pit.
Looks like it, right?
The TP back here from Juicy to potentially collapse on B side very quickly with YU Spring.
To do that to something! Can we just like highlight the fact you're doing that to something twice now? He's been outswung. If you don't think these Wolves are gunners, you are absolutely wrong. But now they've manipulated the map well. Now they want to maybe hit that cross back in again, and this is where those stingers are going to start suffering. You're not in the right place for him, but Jing's still going to hold his ground. Paranoia blind. Escape, and he gets out at least for now. Patman's found life, Story's got support. Spring, oh, see that BD that's flying it towards him. Patman going nuclear! Has he just gone 4 there?
Puts himself in a deadly position and delivers here for PRX.
I need to watch that one back.
It just jumps down, able to get behind this so quickly. Beautiful stuff from him. No semblance of comfort back in the coach booth whatsoever. Operator back in hand now for something.
ติงดีๆนะขอร้องละ
Up ahead now, the smoke
ใจเย็นเถอะ
for the time being.
Who's next?
So Juicy going to try and pave the way.
เออ
Threads it round the corner there.
And something seems unafraid at all, and he gets out of danger.
I know.
Combine it with a Hunter's Fury, but it finds no value really. And now Forsaken just stands his ground. It feels like it's fallen flat here for Wolves. PRX getting a good read and a good idea. It's going to need a hero.
โอ้ยหิวขอร้อง
Divide so close.
สวย
Great trade for Divide there. And now just 2 remaining. Juicy and Seafat Baby in the 2v4, Mike. I mean, it would be a tilter.
Should find a straight 2v2 on either side here, but the issue being something is posted up. The operator. You get not many tools left to. Actually, no, I haven't said that. Recon and Juicy with a full belt almost.
Trying to the fake, I guess.
30 seconds left.
A nice idea. But it's not going to dissuade these players. They don't need to move.
PRX can sit in this formation now, and I think actually Wolves. Because they don't get a bite.
Yeah, looks like a cancel.
I mean, YU 450, Spring 1350, and Lysol struggling to scrape together any funds here. So PRX will find their third. Keep things honest in the start of Ascent. Let's see how the ultimates play here. It's only a TP for Spring, and as you can see on PRX now, absolutely nothing and a million miles away from anything, to be honest with you. So a slight advantage in that regard, but it's not much. I mean, Lysol going to be potentially the next key ultimate for the Wolves.
I've got to say as well, for me, good start seeing Patman find a bit of impact too. He's been a really good player for them.
Yeah, a quiet map one as well, so seeing him come online, certainly a positive.
Oh, Forsaken, got the timing so right. He's so blind. So a good bit of spacing and trying just to swing that.
ไม่อยู่นิ่งมันนะ
This is still something. There's no pressure towards middle, but he's very paranoid about it. They want in on this. Still not noting him. The stall's there. If they try and disrespect it, it's going to be brutal.
สวย
Yet way too difficult on the way in. Juicy, what is that? You're not meant to be doing this sort of stuff. And now Spring left in a 1v2 as well. So unwilling to deny that that scale up towards B was their right idea.
They're wrapping the spike as well. Both Jing and something.
This guy's paranoia, smoke, TPs. He's got a bit of kit here to play with though, Mike.
He's left guessing. Potentially, yeah, going to get himself a clean plant.
Shadows traveling.
With the smoke towards CT, kind of implies he's not expecting this wrap.
Certainly does. TP should be noted too, that paranoia. What do you do with it? Yeah, a little interested on that, but the corner slow. Something, and he's going to take a stand on that one. But it felt like Wolves were so headstrong in wanting to hit towards that B site, but scaling up didn't feel right there.
Initially, that first kill was a Forsaken. Yeah, Forsaken gets caught here with the flash. Revealing area. Again, you look at the map, and there is a huge gap in the PRX defense. So happens. I mean, Juicy picks up a little momentum. That kill there, he was down to 1 HP. And the shot here. Just to the door.
ส่งไปโดนยาตรงโน้นอะ
Potentially sealing that post plant for
พูดจริงแต่ว่าเด็กอะไรอะเป็นแบบก่อนคือก่อนเปิดสวิตช์แล้วก็รอ4 เท่าเว้ยเป๊ะเอาเถอะให้มันจบที่2-0
and then you step into a series versus PRX. Talk about Gen G being an international titan, but
PRX, I mean, God, I said it
need no introduction when it comes to the international stage.
Truly not, and again, I think that because of their lack of, you know, let's say international trophy, that there has been that worry about them, how well they do, their expectations, but they are still a grand finalist team, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's just something that doesn't even need to be said half the time, but at this point, they've course corrected well, they've got everything back to where they like it, and for something, he's going hunting. He knows where the man is.
Yeah, Cam dealt with quickly. See on the minimap as well. Situation developing outside A site. Then the knife is going to have given that info across. Really juicy with a rifle here, and all of that if you may.
This feels very classically PRX as well, but a dangerous position for Forsaken. He could get outswung here, and he is on his own because you saw the rotation route coming out from something, so times it well to back away, and that sees obviously giving it a couple of seconds and actually plays back in something. You don't often see fights this deep on the map, but welcome to PRX.
Yeah, PRX just don't want Wolves to sit back and set up here, preventing any rotation back towards the B side of the map. Hatman still commanding this space, and actually Knife will reveal everything if you do it.
I mean,
probably still knowing exactly what's going on.
Yeah, look at
the,
30 seconds left.
Snakebite and the fragment.
Oh, this is an awful site to have to try and approach. Basically dry at this point. Yeah, Juicy.
Oi,
Gonna get G
นี่แหละเข้ามันแรงจัง
Okay, guys, you were planned for this. And Divine looks like he's trying to do everything himself. What on earth is going on here? Something unfair. That's a bit of bullying, but I like it. 5-4 now, tipping the scales on their side. And I've got to say, Wolves looking a little bit shaken by this.
Yeah, and I guess, I don't want to say lost for answers, but unable to really troubleshoot with some of these approaches that PRX are displaying here on the set. Good for 2 on the way in here.
Yeah, surprise.
คนเรียนนี่ของอะไรอะสตกข้าว
PRX watch party loving that one, but 5-4 we go back through. Buyback in play. And it looks simplistic in approach, it looks direct, and something looks to turn this operator into a shotgun. I mean, he's feeling himself here. It's a really risky play. It's now been great selection. Catching Sufat Baby just in towards the Aldrome. And he's still standing. He looks like he wants to absolutely pop off here. And he is. 1 by 1 they drop, and 1 by 1 they fall. Can he find that final man as well? YU looking to try and take towards the site. but something's been dominant about this so far. The double swing, position noted. Something's going hunting. Hungry for his 4-3 already in the round. There's not much to be done for YU here, Mike.
Especially not now. Already a solid idea of where he's at. PaperX just want to decisively close out round 10 here.
No escape.
Oh,
Nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Something gets his fourth, and he is just getting scarier and scarier as the game goes on.
Like they're channeling into that 6th gear. Putting up now 5 rounds unanswered for PaperX.
Oh,
Did start a 4-1 scoreline here. The tides certainly have turned. We'll actually draw out a second timeout here from Wolves. And the opening stretch of Ascent. Desperate, I guess, from Fade to try and recover things here. Hope for a 6-6. Actually see Fat BB, the one to really lead this dialogue.
Không cho mày cục nó. Let's see.
Coming up with the goods here.
it's all good and well to have those Cinderella runs, right? And it's why we love them. They're such fun to witness. But the reality is, normally that fairy tale falls short. There's been very few occasions where it's gone the whole distance. You could argue EG at Champs was probably one of the only ones that ever made it.
The outlier, yeah.
That is it. PaperX have been that fairy tale run in the past, but they never quite made it themselves. For Wolves, they have to face that reality now. How bad do you want it? Do you have really what it takes to push someone like PaperX away from something they are singularly focused on? That grand final, what they want. Gonna draw blood. Beautiful and juicy. Not getting what he needs there.
And a tag or two, but Forsaken happy with that. Something will follow up here. YU will fall. Now, actually, regress here, but PaperX will correct.
Yeah,
just see Fat BB now. This is when it's rough to play against PaperX. They know when to keep on pressuring. Don't allow you any say in the round. When you say in the half as well. That's 6 now. With no response.
Beautiful.
Didn't even look like that was going to land as well.
Oh. Simply lovely from PaperX. And as said, the pressure starts weighing on the chest for Wolves. It's still a manageable scoreline.
Oh, absolutely,
still smiles. Yeah. But we can see these rounds and they're feeding these rounds. And there's aggression again. Something wants that deeper line. And he's got it for starters.
This is why it's so rough to play against PaperX though. When they get themselves ahead, they know to not let up. Wolves can potentially find a 7-5 here. It will be.
Yeah.
Big tick in the box.
Oh, bang on. But that wherewithal, that discipline, that capability in the high pressure games now is the biggest test for them. Looking a little fraught here so far. Last couple of rounds just not quite been in the wheelhouse. And again, the timing on these knives, rather good.
Fragment to prevent anybody slipping the smoke, even though Devi on watchful guard here, tucked into logs, because I mean PaperX can sit in this formation.
Oh god. I mean, Devi's just, he does get caught playing ahead there. That is one thing that's worked in their favor. He tried to lean a little forward, gets punished. But Forsaken, the Guardian in this one, keeping them at bay. And look at who slipped towards the site in the meantime. Jing still here, doing the dance, does it well, takes down another. Forsaken popping off with 20 seconds. The leader for the Wolves side has to stop. Falls to Forsaken. Such a commanding score.
Really is. Wolves' resilience will be tested once more to try and come back here.
สวยครับสวยพอ
Said 7-5, doable 8-4. I mean, it's a pistol round 2 potentially that makes this such a huge deficit to
เจน
come
ห
up
น่อยก็เป็น
against.
สิ่ง
Yeah, they
ต้อง
got
เป็น
their
ตัว
work
ตัว
cut out
ของ
now.
เนี่ย
Wolves, this is a tough scenario.
จำตัวตลอด
PRX singular in their goal, eyeing up that grand final, but they're not
Hadi
there
Cemre.
yet. One more half
Cemre.
stands in their way. So they need to prepare themselves. And it seems like we're about to send it over to Vansili with Sid City standing by.
ครึ่งหนึ่งเปลี่ยนสลับฝั่ง ทุกทีเดินเราเกิดอะไรวะหรือว่าแบบ อันนี้พีไหนตัวที่ภาษีขาไปหา
Seemed to phase him. He was right back into business.
Yeah, and I think the issue being now coming into the second half, you see the string of rounds. It's been collected by PRX. Wolves haven't had much of a say in some of these losses. Yes, coming down to maybe a 1v1 here and there, but all the crucial kills feel as if they went PRX's way. Like I said, we started at a 4-1 scoreline. Now, it being 8-4, a pistol and a round 2 can often seal the fate of the team.
ไอ้เป๊ปไอ้เป๊ป
Juicy on the
ต่อ
line.
ต่อได้
First contact made. That's 2 players. And a third now noted. That's a lot of info. Siufa BD is being bold about this, but he's been revealed. He's been just about everything, but they weathered the storm.
Yeah, I think initially there, the further investment of utility implied that PRX were going to follow through, but maybe the Prowler catching on Siufa BB made them think there's potentially
ของเยอะ
a
มาก
little bit of a stack.
The timing on this.
เดี๋ยวแล้ว
I saw. Lovely timing on that, but something is free. A little bit of a Dink though, going to do some serious work. Spring's already down low, now even lower.
สวยสวย
Blazing their way forward. The A site is their goal, and the plant's going to be in.
YU and Siufa BB, a 2v4. A couple of members of PRX tagged up, but certainly doesn't swing this in Wolves' favour. Have to overcome the odds here. PRX just poised for anybody to step out. That's it.
Oi.
Okay, it's not over
Say
yet.
in.
YU's going to come into this as
So
well.
what?
Jing's quieted him down, but Siufa BB's going to see both players basically. He's got to know where they are, but he
สวย
a desperate attempt
เป็นจริง
to get
มาก
them back here. But PRX take another step in the right direction.
On the brink of double digits. Again, as soon as they find, I guess, what they perceive as a point of weakness, they follow through. Wolves not able to even backtrack. well invested here for round 2 as well. Don't want to leave anything up to chance. Rifles except for Patman and Forsaken. Actually, Wolves set up in a little bit of a stack here. Flash in's only going to slow down the inevitable, it feels. Maybe toying with the idea of contesting that orb, but doesn't happen. I think PRX probably smell something.
There's a trap around that corner, guys, I'm pretty sure. Feels weird over there. Something looking to farm. If he falls, it would be a prize possession garnered.
I was curious there if Forsaken was going to show some utility on the other side of the map. It's just Lysor, but Devi actually...
That's one.
So
systematically, one by one. The flash through smoke is nice. See that BB is already noted as well. Can't really fall away from the stairs. PRX looking locked in here, Mike. They are pulling no punches.
No, they're not. Again, showing diligence this time around. And that's when it really flips the switch. Wolves the ones to left, kind of to sweat in this scenario. Almost a second gets themselves. Jing, a third found and a 10th on the board for PRX. This buy round,
that's it,
is huge for Wolves. And this bonus even bigger for PRX if they can find it. Only the one casualty.
That you're gonna cry, bro.
So they come into round 3. Flushed out in terms of the inventory. And Patman is just going to ride a Sheriff through here. It's Forsaken and Jing closest in terms of this ult cycle.
Cover going on.
Nothing of note for Wolves, but potentially a pace change. Just initially, Forsaken going to retrieve one orb. Trying to retrieve one orb. But don't have control over towards A main, so...
As a start, you can see the...
I mean, it's a huge ultimate to have in the bonus, so you know they're going to want to come for this orb.
Well, here it is. They've taken the taunt.
And actually, Lysor and Spring do peel away.
Now they've cleared B main. If you're looking at Wolves' side, they cleared B main. So it might be why you hear that you can already see that rotation coming in from Juicy. He's going to try and pop himself over towards A.
PRX aren't dead set. Just maybe going to prioritize towards to catch somebody out. They don't want to walk into this choke point.
No, and that's going to encourage the play forward, but Forsaken with the first blow, and it could be a lethal one at that. Juicy, but job done, and Lysor does well. Tucked into hell, he drags down. Not done yet, but Forsaken captured and held in place. The spike now left loose. With 20 seconds, he's got to make a miracle out of this. 3 players, Forsaken. Not gonna get it. A lifeline.
Shield to repurchase here for Juicy.
No.
Was the bonus, so PRX is going to come back in, and because Patman only brought a Sheriff to the party,
Spike down A.
it's almost rinse and repeat here. Not out of the woods just yet. Cannot get the ball rolling in terms of the comeback.
But again, though, this was something that was said about that BB was building up his players, right? Keeping them confident, trying to keep them in the game. He's going to have to keep doing that because PRX don't stop. Even in their losses, they will still play confident games. And something taking space. Solo Endeavor. 2 players on the other side. CUFAT, BB, and Lysor playing top mid off the back of that trip placed in as well. So they've got a lot to play off of here. A very difficult scenario. Patman on that deeper line in case someone does swing. It's got to be those early protocols being cleared.
I mean, it is Jules' nightmare to play into this composition. But Lysor dancing with death here.
Still have that trip, so they can still have confidence behind that. To an extent, right? They're kind of falling for this fade pressure on towards B main, but we know where it's heading. PRX are once again eyeing up this A site. This is brutal. You got Juicy still here, you got Spring still here, but Paper X are right at the door now. And away they go. Something looks the wrong way and gets punished. Spring does well. Great paranoia too. Tries to slow the roll here, buy time for these rotations. Pressure from main held back by the smoke. Closer. Juicy play in the corner. It's denied. Looks for the follow-up. No. Spring barely alive on two, but he's still playing until then. Down to a 3v2. Man to the good for Paper X, and now Plop on their side.
Going to be coming from heaven here. Maybe a little ahead of YU. Nobody from Paper X overstepping. They're tucked in right now.
Gotta see discipline.
Oh.
Some damage made. So they could know 2 players off of this. That third is a problem. That third being Forsaken, but they're losing out the sight. Couldn't quite get the follow-up. And Paper X striding close now. 11 rounds to their name.
A tough loss here for Wolves. Like I said, with the bonus being as well invested as it was.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, now seems daunting to approach this round 17.
God, you get that sinking feeling.
You
haven't really found a way to handle Maybe chances existed and died on that first map, but they're not out yet. At 11-5 though, you start hearing that music play, can't you? That 12th round looking likely, but in its way, a couple of sheriffs, Ghost, and a team with a whole lot of hopes here. But for Paper X, they've got their own plan in mind, and that's a big investment and a big shot. Lysol lands it, so Jing's gone down. That's a weapon recoverable if they want it.
Yeah, Paper X actually aren't in a position to capitalize elsewhere. They're spread so thin. Spike not committed anywhere just yet. So that man advantage will stand for the time being. No weapon recovered though for Wolves.
Oh, nice from Patman. Big kill there on towards Juicy. And that knife should reveal at least one more. So do they need to turn away from this? Or do they just keep stepping forward? It feels a little headstrong for my taste, but it's Paper X. You kind of know what you're in for here. Lysol was the one to do the damage. It looks like they're trying to trail up towards heaven. Something bulldozes forward. YU, great shot. 25 seconds, and Lysol still standing. Has to go above and beyond here. Watch out. He's doing the dance. Oh, elusive and evasive to try and land those shots. Super Baby was so far away. Batman is low. Forsaken is not. I know. Oh, hell no. Oh, for a second, I thought it was possible. But 12 rounds, and the final stand has to be down for Wolves.
This time Paper X able to wait out, navigate their way into this defense. Get everything they need. It comes down to a fine margin once again. The Paper X undeterred in terms of finances here. A couple of ultimates starting to rear their heads. The side of Wolves actually just one away from some of these key ultimates, but we'll even get a chance to see them. Juicy, Fat BB, no command here from Patman.
Okay, anti-setup though, which is nice. So they're still going to get a bit of a reward from this, right? It starts feeling very, very likely. Layers of ults though. Lysol could be in trouble here. See Fat Baby trying to get on site, but Juicy goes unattended, unchecked. Kills on 2. Finding more would be mythical at this point. But for Paper X, they are left in tatters. Mike, I don't know if they could do it, just these 2 players. Desperation play from Batman. He's got his man. The Wolves stave off what feels like the inevitable with 3 still alive.
Clinging to life here, the neural therapy for Paper X. They have to fight for sight then. I think Patman down to just a lick of HP.
Yeah.
Defend that, but really want to stop this from spiraling out of control.
One enemy
remaining. Second ping paying off there.
Breaks the money.
Yeah, it does.
Still got ults though. I say ult. And it's a scary one with something. He's had a really good map here. Can they deny him now? Can they stop it now? Spring forced away, looking a little shaky, but something's fallen.
มีแท็บมิดตลอดเลย
Which is a little bit worrying. That could be a tilter for him there, because that was meant to be their kind of, I guess, main part of the piece.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a nightmare for a duelist to play into this composition, but you really need that second or third man in line to deal with that sort of thing here. Juicy deals with Jing handily.
A bit worried there that he'd found like a, the dream gap to try and punish, but not to be. So PRX try and do what they can, and Wolves aren't allowing it. Patman does well towards sight.
Enemy remaining.
Sufat BB still in the back lines. Doesn't need to overextend himself. Waits for the switch.
แต่เสียวมาก
Wolves control
แต่
this
เสียวมาก
round,
อะ
Mike.
Double digits.
เอาเดียว
That's
Oh,
what
shit.
starts to
That's how we
leave it.
start. Yeah. So it takes one round. PRX up to 12 here.
เอาเดียว
That is a frustrating.
มันนี่
Yeah, again, just looking at the minimap, there's two members here down in Arch. The time that happened, and again, I'm not saying dealing with a trip and something goes wild there, but
Yeah.
Bladestorm invested in that sort of round in particular. You never want to see a Jet having to invest a knife to deal with a trip, especially with two people in close proximity.
Find you.
But necessarily a big deal, all things considered.
Back to work though.
Looking for revenge up here.
Yeah, this time he wants in. Sufat BB playing top mid. Looking at the rest of the team split throughout. A bit of a default coming out from PRX. Maybe trying to catch some of the aggression. Jing's got to be cautious as well. Going to spell out Lysol. And this is a creep towards A though. Look at the pressure. Spring's in potential trouble. Does have his paranoia if he needs it. Investment of the ult going to come down on the other side of the map though. Juicy's going to clear and give away that there's no one here, but they don't know about Jing. He's been able to slip ahead early. They don't know about Jing, and now you do. Like a knife to the heart, but Spring answers back. Trying to what? Oh, Spring, you are a madman.
Spike down.
Goes
ไม่อยากพูดเหี้ยอะไรเลยละคน
all
อะ
expectation, but it is a 2v2. Don't think it's over yet. Spike is there. It's picked up. Sent back away. Plants coming in.
Look at the pit as well.
Oh my god, this is going to be down to the wire, isn't it? Divide disconnected towards A main. You have Jing tucked towards sight. Spring.
Wait,
Oh my
just missed him.
god. The timing. Unbelievable. Spring trying to play the game, and Jing now going to be doing around the world here, but they've given up
เขาไม่
position.
อยากพูดเหี้ยอะไรแล้วนะตอน
Could
นี้
be a mistake here, but they don't know about it.
You've got-
Honestly, they don't know about it. The pit's gonna fall. And now you're looking at Jing.
remaining.
Divide strikes first. Why you? Hold on again. Can he take down Divide? He absolutely can! Out of nowhere, Wolves digging deeper.
Spring
ทำไมว่า 13 มันไปยากกว่าว่า
closes out with a Red Bull clutch here to
I
keep
can't.
Wolves alive.
I can't believe that. Look at this round. This from Spring. You know it's a mad play when even PRX don't expect it. You know that's a mad one.
3 bullets left
Christ.
for YU.
That's the killer instinct I want to see, though. To be able to do that against 12? Oof.
And I gotta say, frustration, rightfully so. They give up the pit, they play themselves out of line of sight of the spike. Yes, it needs a miracle, but it's Wolves you're talking about here.
It's still only 8 rounds. We said we start paying attention at 10. They've broken the bye, but it's still PRX. They can do it. Something seems so unwilling to let go of this mid-pressure. He wants it so badly. So Juicy's got to be careful. There is a world where he could get timed on this one. Those stingers, very, very deadly. Just gonna go down. Camera here. Doesn't need to overstay the ball.
พี่หวังก็คิดสร้างสรรค์เกินไปวะ
Straight across. Divide gonna deny that. No one's gonna be able to help out YU here. Does get to at least evade the siege.
โอ้ยแม่งเล่นโอดีเละ
Have a way forward.
เป็นกินอะไรอ่ะ
Just
เท่เลยนะแล้วจะกินอะไรวะ
now, YU gonna have his hands full.
อยากคุยอะไรอย่างอื่นตอนที่มันแบบ
Something out of nothing.
ไม่ใช่การแค่นั้น
Mistake made by the Wolves.
เชี่ยว่ะ
Plants looking like it's coming in. You're looking at that late.
โอ้ยดีนะไม่บอกอย่างนั้นคืออะไร
He tries to make something of
เอ
it.
อ
Makes a mistake, but the number's still good. PRX
เอาหน่อยเอาหน่อยเอาหน่อยเอาหน่อย
Divide could be timed in this, though. It's all going.
เออเสียง
And
เออ
this is the round to do it. Lysor asked
Further elevation on the side of PaperX today, overcoming. It's quickly become a fan favorite here in Toronto. Still, got to come away from this series with their heads held high for your Wolves.
Absolutely.
But PaperX deliver an absolute banger here. And a 2-0.
Yeah, spot on again. A lot of credit
เปลี่ยนด้วยเป็นภาษาแล้วก็เก่งมากครับเด็กทุก GG เวลแพ้ทั้งตก
It was never about just getting to a grand final though. It was always about that final step. The first to lock it in here in Toronto. Who will they be standing up against is the big question, but a great performance here. 2-0, Mike. They've got to be happy with this one.
Absolutely. Patman and Devi being two key stakeholders here for PaperX.
Devi for me was absolutely on the money.
เด็กๆยินใจทุกคน
It's been under so much flack. Because again, it typically doesn't slip into that same sort of ethos.
อันนี้คืออะไรอยู่อ่ะอ๋อ W Gaming
See his role within this roster and I guess the play style, but man, today shining bright.
Yeah, as said, make those big plays. His value alone in time maps is exceptional.
How do you look flashy alongside some of these teammates along the way? So
อ๋อ
beautiful stuff.
พี่ดูคลิป
Really good stuff, and I keep
แบบพี่
see how far this goes for them.
มาจากที่เป็นของอีกได้ไหมครับ
Down to that Verizon
ออนไลน์
interview, I'm sure we'll be jumping down there in a moment. Yeah, it does seem as though we are ready. So let's hear from the players themselves. With the interview.
คนหน่อยที่เจ็ดกัน
It's been 2 years in the making, but PaperX are finally back in another grand final. I know, Jin, you're a man of few words, but I've got to get your reaction on this because Jin, this is your third grand final on the global stage. How does this compare to LA
อัน
and
นั้น
Copenhagen?
ไม่ได้แข่ง
Now we have like
แต่
more
ชม
hopefully the time is the charm. Hopefully.
And speaking of that experience, you know, your very good friend Forsaken and you've been through a lot. What's Jason like as a leader these days on stage?
I think he's doing a really great job as being a leader. He's like keeping the whole team hype and keeping all our energy good, and I think he makes everyone really excited as well and really hyped. So yeah, I think the mood is really great now, and hopefully we carry on the momentum to grand finals.
Okay, I have one very important question. The crop top. We have been promised the crop top in Pacific. We haven't seen it. Now you're in a grand final. Are we bringing out the crop top finally?
I mean, like I said in the press con, if we win grand finals and my team wears the crop top with me, I'll do it.
Alright, okay, we need to get PaperX behind this crop top. I know one person that might be down for this.
จริงมากครับทุกคน
I'm gonna get told off if I don't.
เราดูแค่นี้แล้วครับคู่สองแม่น่าไหวนะตีหนึ่งเหนื่อยอ่อนดูเส้นใหม่ค่ะ